Beyond reality, secrets of the hidden world. Everyday life often blinds us to deeper mysteries, the moments of wonder hiding just beyond our reach. But what if you discovered there was an entire world concealed behind the familiar, one you could touch, even enter, if you dared? This is the story of Daniel Reed, a man who stumbled upon a hidden world beyond the veil of our reality, a place where time, memory, and imagination meet. Brace yourself for an unforgettable journey. Late at night, under a darkened sky, Daniel Reed was returning home, the quietness of the deserted streets wrapped around him like a shroud. As he walked through the fog, he saw a figure cloaked in shadow standing under a dim streetlight. There was something unsettling about this figure, almost as if they belonged to another time or another world. The figure raised a hand, beckoning Daniel closer. "Daniel Reed," they whispered, their voice barely audible above the whispering wind. "You've sought something beyond yourself for years, haven't you?" Stunned, Daniel stammered, "Who are you? How do you know me?" The figure's eyes glinted with a strange, otherworldly light as they pressed a peculiar, ancient-looking key into Daniel's hand. "This key unlocks the answers you seek. Go to the old library at midnight. There, seek the door that cannot be seen." And with that, the stranger vanished, leaving Daniel staring at the key, feeling as though his life had shifted irrevocably. At precisely midnight, Daniel found himself at the old library, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and dread. Inside, the grand, musty hallways were empty, and only the faint glow of moonlight illuminated the rows of ancient books. He wandered deeper, feeling as though unseen eyes were watching his every move, until he stumbled upon a narrow door concealed behind an ancient bookshelf. The door had no handle, only a tiny keyhole that seemed to glimmer in the dark. Hands trembling, he slid the key into the lock and turned it. A faint click echoed, and the door swung open, revealing a spiral staircase descending into darkness. With one last glance over his shoulder, Daniel took a deep breath and stepped into the unknown. The staircase led him into a forest of towering trees that seemed to reach the stars. Leaves shimmered with an ethereal glow, casting colorful reflections that danced upon Daniel's face as he took in the world around him. It was as though he'd stepped into a living dream, a world woven from the collective imagination of humanity itself. Deeper in the forest, he came upon a grove bathed in silver light. A pool of crystal-clear water sat at its center, and beside it was a woman with hair as silver as the moon and eyes that seemed to hold centuries of wisdom. She introduced herself as Seraphine, the keeper of the veil, and welcomed him to the veiled realm, a place where human dreams, memories, and fears manifested into reality. "This place," she explained, "is created by the minds of all who have ever wondered about the unknown. Here, the line between reality and fantasy blurs, and one's true self emerges." Daniel's heart raced. "But why am I here?" Seraphine smiled mysteriously. "Because you were chosen, Daniel. Chosen to see beyond, to witness what lies hidden. To remain in the veiled realm," Seraphine explained, "Daniel would have to pass 3 trials. Each would test different parts of him: his courage, his compassion, and his understanding of truth. The first trial took place in the Heartwood Forest, where creatures formed from his fears lurked in the shadows. Daniel's fear of failure took shape as a beast with hollow eyes, reflecting every moment of his life where he had doubted himself. The creature advanced, whispering his failures, feeding his insecurities. But Daniel stood his ground, drawing strength from within, recognizing the monster as a part of himself. It dissolved, leaving him breathless but victorious. The second trial led him to a cavern filled with sorrowful echoes. Inside, he saw loved ones he'd lost over the years, their forms translucent and sorrowful, reaching out as though he could save them. Daniel's heart ached, but he realized that they were but memories, remnants of grief he had never allowed himself to confront. He spoke words of forgiveness and peace, and the figures faded with a soft sigh, freeing him of his burdens. As he continued, Daniel noticed that time in the veiled realm was fluid. Days seemed to pass in mere moments, while moments stretched into eternity. He found himself trapped in a surreal field of flowers, where every bloom represented a different memory. One particular flower glowed brighter than the rest, and when Daniel touched it, he was plunged into a memory of his childhood, a vivid moment with his father, who had passed years ago. This trial taught him that time was an illusion. In the veiled realm, the past, present, and future coexisted, intertwined. Memories, regrets, hopes, all were living entities here. Daniel's understanding deepened, and he began to feel at one with this strange place. The final trial brought him to the Oracle's temple, a floating structure in a lake surrounded by ethereal lights. The Oracle was an imposing figure with a face that shifted like the phases of the moon, and eyes that seemed to gaze into the very fabric of his soul. "You have journeyed far, Daniel," the Oracle intoned. "Now, ask the question that brought you here." Daniel hesitated, feeling the weight of his curiosity, and finally spoke, "What is the purpose of life? Why are we here?" The Oracle's face softened, and they explained that the purpose of life was to experience, to love, to fear, to dream, and ultimately, to accept all parts of oneself. The veiled realm, they said, was a mirror for humanity, a place created by our collective longing for something beyond the ordinary. Daniel was given a choice. He could stay in the veiled realm, becoming a guardian of its mysteries, or return to the human world, forever changed but with new insights. Though the veiled realm beckoned to him, Daniel knew his place was back in his world. He would take what he had learned and find ways to see magic in the mundane, to find beauty in the ordinary. Back in his everyday world, Daniel found that the veiled realm had left its mark on him. His photography gained a new dimension, capturing fleeting moments that hinted at something deeper. His images of ordinary landscapes and people now seemed to glow with an inner light, hinting at the otherworldly beauty he had witnessed. Over time, people noticed his work, saying his photos had a dreamlike quality, as though each frame contained a glimpse of something beyond this world. And though Daniel never revealed his journey, he knew the veiled realm would always be a part of him, waiting just beyond the edge of reality, hidden in the quiet moments, in the spaces between.